This conference will now be recorded.
Very good morning. Good morning. So what type of instances we have launched yesterday? C2. Okay, but the type of instance. What is the type of instance? T2 micro. Yeah. So that was T2 micro, which is a free tier instance, and then AMI, RHEL 8. Okay. Yes. RHEL 8. And we selected the security groups, right? Yeah. What security group? Rule, type of the security group or type of the rule. We are select something in security group like source. What was the source? Source, yeah. Type was, one second. EC2. And so when you launch instance, so RHEL 8, that was the AMI. So you can grab a chair in the front. You can see. Can you see the board? Yeah. Fine. Those who cannot see, you can grab chairs and sit in the front. So that's instance, right? T2.micro. And then this is network, third step. Okay, just skip it. And fourth step is storage. Yeah. What are the different volume types?
SSD.
General purpose and then provision DevOps.
Static.
What is static?
There is no.
There is no.
Any read or write operations. It's a static data. Then we should go for static purpose.
General purpose IOPS cannot be customized. Right? So general purpose IOPS cannot be customized. But that is general purpose. Again, we have GP2. But if you go with GP3, general purpose 3, IOPS can be customized. Same time, throughput also can be customized. And if you go with, so provisioned IOPS, IO1, IOPS can be customized. And we use the provisioned IOPS up to, if you want your IOPS up to 32,000. And then go with provisioned IOPS 1 and provisioned IOPS 2 up to 64,000. Okay. And then magnetic. So if you're not processing any data which you store on the volume, you can go with magnetic. Right. So the next step, name, and there is your security group. What was the source we have selected yesterday? Anywhere, right? So anywhere means anyone can log into the instance. Clear? And the type of the security group was SSH. That's the type of the group. That means secured shell. And then what all zeros represent? All zeros means anywhere, anyone can sign in. So, and then review and then launch. Okay. This is what we have done yesterday. And we have selected some security groups, and that was source was from anywhere. And then type of the role was SSH, type of the security, I mean. And what's the default port number for SSH? 22. That's the default port number. Remember the port numbers. Well, So let's proceed with, let's launch another EC2 instance. And we take AMI as, let's say, Ubuntu. And later we'll proceed with, so we're going to launch another EC2 instance, but that was for Windows. And then we'll be going through managing some security groups. So we have created security groups, but can I change the security group rules after instance is launched? I want to change the security group types. Can we change it? Yeah, we can change it. I want to change the source. I want to change the source. How do you change it? We'll talk about that. So, and then also we talk about elastic IPs. So go with first. So where is it? 1 second. Yeah, let's launch EC2 launch instance. And let's go with Ubuntu 20, that's the AMI. Select and instance type. You go with t2.micro still. And network. So here you have number of instances. So you can launch multiple number of instances same time. Okay. Now it's only by default is one, but if you like to launch multiple instances, you can launch number of instances. Okay. But for all the instances, they'll be launched with same configurations. What is same configurations? Network settings, security groups, and then also storage with same private key. Okay, because we are creating all these instances same time parallelly. So the concept is every instance you have same configurations. Now in what cases we create multiple instances? Especially when you talk about your environments. Let's say I'm creating an environment, something like dev. Then for that environment, I need about some number of instances. Then instead of launching these instances one by one, so we can launch same number of instances. So at a time. Why? All these instances, so we'll be having same configurations. I'm going to launch them in the same environment with same type of security groups and same network settings. Everything will be the same. In that case, you go with this. But this is not the way how you launch multiple instances. If you want to have, for example, I want to have two instances launch in dev environment and 3 instances launch in test environment. Then how are you going to launch it? Are we going to mention 10 over here in that case? That's not possible. Why? Those number of instances I want under different configurations. Then you don't do that like this. That's why everything managing all these, launching instances with different configurations, number of instances, it's not possible through this user interface or through this AWS console. There comes your Terraform. Okay. So we are launching instances through the AWS console. Clear? Using interface. I select options and then I like to launch. Yes. But when you go to Terraform, Terraform is a tool which helps us to launch your instances or anything, networks or whatever, with different configurations. But we write some scripts in Terraform. Okay. So we'll talk about the Terraform later as a part of DevOps. We'll discuss that part. But if you want to understand Terraform, make sure you understand AWS thoroughly. Every point is important because if you understand these points, then in Terraform you'd be able to write some scripts in Terraform. Otherwise, you won't be able to write any scripts in Terraform. Every point is important. Whatever the things you see on the console, like AMI, and then security group, and then networks, all these things, if you understand them thoroughly, then you'll be able to write a script in Terraform. Otherwise, you won't be able to. You don't even understand it. So first understand the console first, all the options, then you'll be able to write scripts and run the scripts in Terraform. And those, when you run the scripts, it is going to create our required infrastructure on AWS. Okay, well, anyway, let's launch only one instance. So don't too much worry about Terraform as of now. Concentrate on this console. So if you are perfect with console, you can play around with Terraform. Otherwise, it's not possible. Okay, good. Next. So storage, and you look at here. What is the size? 8. Yesterday, what it was 10. That means the size changes according to the AMI. According to the AMI, the size changes. It's not about the instance type. Of course, that is instance type, but same time, on that instance, what type of AMI you're launching? Well, so go with general purpose anyway. So, and then name. So name is equals to, that's a key value, key and then value. So let's say Ubuntu instance 1. And then, so SSH, still SSH, and then type protocol is default 22 TCP. Let's try with anywhere. Okay, let's try with anywhere. And after instance is launched, I'll try to change the security groups. Okay, so review and then launch. I don't want to create a new key pair. Instead, I like to choose an existing key pair. Yesterday we have created a key pair, right? What was the key pair name? RHEL instance 1. This is the one? Yes. So use it. And click on that. There is your instance. Well, and how you log in then? We need public or private IP? Public IP. Select the instance, and there is your public IP. Copy that. But we need to wait for a couple of minutes at least. The reason is instance is running, but it does a couple of status checks. There are about 2 status checks. So it is going to check that status. So is it running? Is it ready or not? And once those status checks are ready, then you would be able to log in. So we are waiting for this. It is initializing. Okay. And another question. So look at the availability zone. Why this is launched in 1A zone? So what is our region? Mumbai. Why this is launched under 1A zone rather than 1B or 1C? Do we have a choice of selecting our required availability zone?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, tell me where. Okay. See, this is what we have been going through so far. Now, in these steps, did you find anywhere select your availability zone?
No, we can select region, but not.
But you said yes. Someone also said yes. How? See, there is a possibility, but how that is possible? And that is possible through networks. So in the steps we have gone through so far, all those 7 steps when you launch instances. So there is no option called select your availability zone. There is no option. But still, if you want to launch your instance under 1C or 1B zone, and so how do you do that? Make sure you select your network. Okay, so that was the 3rd step. So that's under network. Those options appear under, you see that availability zone. Yes, but we have not gone through that part, so let's cancel it. But is it possible? Yes, that's possible. Okay. Well, so now launch. Login, I mean, so go with appearance.
Instance, we have unique public keys.
Sorry?
For every instance, we have unique keys.
So why do you need unique for all the instances? We maintain, see, how do you create keys? For example, I have an environment, and for those environments, I maintain only one single key. I have other environment, let's say something like test, and I have some instances. For all those keys, I maintain another key. So you maintain the keys according to the environments. So it does not mean that you have 10 instances and you also have 5 instances. It does not mean that you maintain 15 different keys. Okay.
So even the IP address are same for,
Sorry.
even the IP address is same for different
And
instances.
how can IP address could be the same? Is it possible to have a same IP address for multiple instances? IP means it's unique, right? How can you have same IPs? So that's not possible. Well, so change the appearance and then colors, both the colors. IP is always unique. No, well, which one? This one, right? Okay. So username, Ubuntu. So we are in switch to super user. But then we can try with, so it is apt get install or apt install, both are same. You want to try something, let's say, anyway, don't worry about that. I'm installing something, docker.io they call it, or something. I think I need to update my repository. Then you can install it, apt-get update. But that takes a lot of time to update the repository. But so, or else try with, it's already there anyway. But, so that is how you launch through instances for Ubuntu. Now let's go back to the instance. Now this is our instance. So look at the public key. This is a public key, right? Okay. And then save the key. That's my key. That's public key. And then actions. Sorry, state. Go with state. Select the instance first. Select the instance and state. I'm going to stop the instance. So why we stop them?
We don't get charged.
Yes. Just I want to save some cost on it. So if you run it and that is charged. If you don't run it, that is not charged. So stop it. Now, when I stop it, automatically I'm disconnected from PuTTY. Well, and then stopping instance, refresh. Public IP. So can we see the public IP now? No, I don't see the public IP. So, but private IP is still maintained, but that's for network level. Anyway, so the public IP is gone. I don't see the public IP. So start the instance again. Start it. Just refresh. So when I start, and then instance will be started and will be assigned with public IP, but will it be same public IP or different public IP? Copy that. Is it same public IP or different one? It's a different public IP. So whenever you restart your instances, it is going to assign a different public IP. Right? So AWS has a concept called, not only AWS, any cloud, Azure or any GCP cloud. When you restart your instances and that public IP, there is no guarantee that you would get the same public IP. Why? Because in the meantime, there might be some other users and they might have created the same instances and that public IP is assigned to that particular instance. That's a public IP. Well, so but private IPs don't get changed. But is there any possibility that I can get the same public IP which I had in the past?
Yes, you can, but you should pay.
So now let's say I have an application deployed on this instance. There is some application. And how do you access the application? With the help of IPs or domains, right? So go with, enter the IP address. the public IP address, right? And if you have any port numbers, enter the port number. But the public IP which I had in the past, now it is changed. Can I access the same application now? Understand the question? No? I mean, first understand the question. Now, if I do this, I'm able to access the application, right? But now the IP is changed. See, something like, so you access your applications, right? You have DNS names.
Yes, yes, you
So
can
what-
still access the application because it's just a dynamic IP. It keeps changing every time you start and stop it.
Yeah, can we access that?
Yes, with the port number.
No, see, IP address itself is changed. How you'll be able to access your application then? Simple, okay, forget about the application. Okay, forget about the application. Now, can I do SSH with the same IP address now? No,
The
yes.
old one, but with the new one.
This is the old one, right?
Yeah. You
Yeah.
can't
Can I do
access it with the old one, but you
Yes.
can access it with the new one.
Yeah, that's what. Then if you can't even do SSH with the old IP, then how you'll be able to access that application then on that instance? So
I
it's
thought
always
you were asked. Okay.
unique. Unique is IP is unique, right? The IP itself is changed. How you'll be able to do it? So it's not possible. Now you go with the new one. Now, is it possible to assign or to provide the new IP to all the users every time? I have some number of users.
No.
Then, so am I able to provide the same IP to all the users? So this is a new IP and you log in with the new IP. Can we do it? So it's not possible. That's why I need an elastic IP. So what is elastic IP?
Static IP.
Yeah. So even if you restart your instances, so you will be able to get the same IP address.
So for static IP, we need to pay.
So don't worry, I'll explain. Okay. Now, so look at here. You have elastic IPs. Well, so now here we talk about elastic IP concept. If you want to allocate an elastic IP, firstly, make sure you have an IP address available, right? So first you allocate an IP address. That means you're going to buy an IP address from the AWS. So once you get the IP address is allocated for you, then that IP address you can associate with instance. So first you get IP address, and you allocate IP address. Once allocate IP address, then associate that IP address to the instance. Okay. Well, so what are the steps? Very simple steps. Allocate elastic IP first, and then IPv4. IPv4 is a type of a protocol which is used to allocate IPs. So we have IPv4, IPv6, well, and then just go with allocated. Now that is, scroll down. There is your IP address. Okay, and look at here. What is IP? Public. Elastic IPs are public, not private, because private IPs are for the instance level. When you go to instance, you have a private IP, but here these are, when you go with elastic IPs, these IPs are always public. There is nothing called private IPs. Well, now we have the IP address, and then what's next? Actions. Select the IP first, and then elastic associated, and you associate with the instance, and then you have instance name. Which one? Ubuntu. So select that. Do I need to stop the instance if I want to allocate? So if I want to associate. So what is the instance status? It's running. So you don't need to stop the instance. So make it as it is, I mean, whether it's running or not running. So status does not matter. Still you can associate IP, right? So associate. Right. So you can check this and your instance associated instance. That's our instance. Okay, click on the instance, and that is the instance private IP. Anyway, check the instance. So select it, and there is your public IP. That's our elastic public IP. That's okay. Well, now we try to stop the instance. Now this is being stopped. There it is. So even if you stop it, and that IP keeps static, so that won't get changed. So you can see that well. Anyway, now back to elastic IP.
So it's private IP static or dynamical level every time. Say private.
Private IPs don't get changed. Okay, until you remove your instances, the private IP keeps remain for the instance.
But generally normal is it will change IP.
Private IPs don't get changed. Okay, if you want to change the IP address, there is a different concept. So if you want to change the IP address, the concept is you change the networks, not the IPs. Okay, so that part I will be covering in VPCs, virtual private clouds. Private IPs, so they are associating some different random private IPs, right? Now get back to that. EC2 instances. See that private IPs, they're not changing, right? Why they're not changing? When public IPs are changed, why the private IP is not changed? Can we change it? So we can change it only if the network of the instance is changed. So what is the network? So that's all different concept. So we have VPCs concept. When you change your VPCs, you can see under networks, and that's our, where is it? VPC network. If you change that VPC, then according to the VPC, the private IPs will get changed. Okay. So back to elastic IP. Now where is it? Details, instance. Where is our instance? Just filter. Okay. Let's look at that once. Which one? This one? Yeah. So status is stop, and the IP is same. Public IP is still same. And back to elastic IPs. That's elastic IP. And how many elastic IPs I can create? I can allocate, I mean. Per account. So I can allocate per account. For my account, I can allocate about 5 IPs. By default, so you can create 5 elastic IPs. Okay, so remember that point. That's an important question. So what are the default IPs you can associate, you can allocate per account? It is 5. That's the number. But what if I want more than that? Then again, so contact the AWS admin team. AWS team. So you raise a ticket and they keep allocating your IPs. But by default, it is 5.
Are these 5 for free?
Every elastic IP is paid. It's not for free. But by default, they provide you 5. Okay. And you want to deassociate it, select the IP and then actions, and then go with deassociate. This is not associated. Did I release it? 1 second. Is it because instance is being stopped? Just a second. What was that? Just back to the instance. Instance. Did we stop the instance? Yes, instance is stopped, isn't it? Okay, fine. But
I think
no,
maybe disassociate and then release the IP to delete it. Or
no.
is it the other way?
Elastic IPs or elastic IPs. And go with now, so that IP is already assigned, right? Associated. Now you go with deassociate. So what is deassociate? You just remove that IP address for the instance. That is what is deassociated. And after you deassociate, and then you release it. What is releasing? Releasing is like removing the IP. One second, let me show you. Deassociate first. So deassociate, that is instance, and deassociate it. And then you can release it. If you release it, so it will be removed from the account. That won't be available no more. Right. So release it. Now it is deleted. So we have no elastic IPs. So release in the sense, just remove the IP and then, so deassociate means, we have attached that, we have associated that IP to an instance, but now I don't want that IP address for the instance. Then you deassociate it, then your IP will be free to use. That means you can associate that to another instance. Okay, well, so back to the instance. Now just refresh.
So the instance is running, can we release IP?
Yeah, that's what I said, right? So whether your instance is running or not, irrespective of the status, you can associate, you can deassociate. Okay? You cannot release. See, how can you release if IP is associated? Can you release an IP if that is associated? You understand the difference between associate and release? Yes. So deassociate means you just remove the IP from the instance. So releasing means remove the IP from the account, right? So if you want to release an IP, first deassociate it and then you release it. Otherwise, you cannot release it.
So what if we want to associate again with the IP address will be changed?
Which one?
I mean, first, for example, if you are associating an IP address to an application, like for example, instance, you are deassociating it. And again, if you want to associate, we get the IP address will be same.
No. Every time when you allocate an IP and the IP is different. So go to elastic IP and then you allocate and it will be a different IP. Previously it was different, now it is different. So if you want, so I have some production instances, I want to keep the same IPs, then don't remove the elastic IPs. If you remove the elastic IPs, so there is no guarantee you will get the same IP again. That's not possible. Okay. So I want to filter running instances. So now that's the public IP. Well, back to the instance, that's running status. and try this. What is the instance type is t2.micro. Let me know that probably tomorrow or day after tomorrow, whenever it's possible. My instance type is t2.micro. Can I change the instance type? The AMI is, what was the AMI? Ubuntu AMI, right? That's Ubuntu AMI. So can I change the AMI? So let me know. Okay, so try that. And where is it? Let's change the security groups. Now just click on security. So this is our security group, and click on security groups. Security groups have two types of rules. So one is inbound rule, other one is outbound rules. So difference between inbound and outbound rules. Now inbound means, so this instance allows only this type of rules. What is the rule type? SSH rule type, inbound rule type. So for example, there is some other type of request. So there is an HTTP request. It's coming onto this instance. And does this instance accept the request? No, because the type of rule, this instance accepts only SSH. Apart from SSH, it does not allow any other type of rules. That is what is inbound. Then what is outbound? What is outbound? Opposite to inbound. What is inbound? Yeah, what request this instance accepts. Then what is outbound? Yeah. So what type of request the instance might send out, right? So instance can send out the request. What type of request it can send out, but in what type of scenarios the instances will be able to send out the request?
Email.
Sorry. Yeah. What was that? Sorry.
Email. Sending
Emails.
emails. Yeah.
Okay. Correct. So that's a good example. Let me give another example.
Database server.
Correct. That's also another example. Correct. Okay. So that is our EC2 instance, and this is our application. Okay. And what is the inbound rule we have set up? SSH. Okay. And then, but there is an database instance. On this instance, I have EC2 instance, and here I have database. So that application needs some database. Okay, the database is set up on another EC2 instance. But so, and as a user, I want to access the application. Okay, so what kind of application that is? It is a web application. Take an example, something like you can email or any other e-commerce website. So what do? You enter the IP address in the browser. Okay. Now once you enter the IP address in the browser, and what type of request you're sending to the instance? Type of request. What request? SSH request. Are you logging into Amazon servers? For example, you're accessing Amazon shopping cart. So what type of request you send to the Amazon servers? Shopping cart. HTTP, right? What is the browser means? HTTP, right? So why do you send SSH? You want to hack the servers? Yeah. What is the request is? It is HTTP, right? Well, then so you're sending an HTTP request. But the question is, this instance, does it accept HTTP request? No, unless you set up an inbound rule. So if you set up inbound rule as HTTP, then the server gives you access to HTTP request. So I have a database server, and this database server is going to process the, for example, I'm a user. I want to access my history of orders. So when you open to Amazon, when you open the Amazon, you have order history. You want to look at the order history. Where is your order history is saved on? On the database. But first, anyway, first log into the application server. From there, you accept your history from the database. But this database server, does it send a request to the users? No. To where? To the applications, right? And from there, your request will be sent out. See, I think everyone does shopping online, right? This is the basic logic how it works. Okay, so then now in this case, this instance, we must set up an outbound rule. Why outbound rule? Because it is processing the request from the application server. It is sending a request out to the application server, and that again, that application server is sending a request response to the user or not. So since in this example, these two servers are sending out responses to the users. In these cases, we set up the outbound rules. Am I clear? That is what is an outbound rule. There. So, but outbound rules by default set up as all traffic. Okay, that's in default. And even our outbound rules, sorry, security group. What's our security group? That's our security group. And this security group, what was the name? So this is the one. So this is a security group that is assigned to the instance. Okay. So we call that default security group. So default in the sense that is Amazon's AWS default security group. We have not created that security groups. Means we can create even our own security groups. So we create security groups, also we attach them to the instances. But when is it? So that's all in the future. So as of now, just look at the default. When you go to VPCs, autoscales, and all these concepts, we'll talk about this security groups, how to create them, and how to attach different other security groups to the instances or to the networks. But now back to inbound rules. We just a second. Did we attach this default one? 1 second. Back to instance. I want to check that first. Instance. I think by default that is, yeah, that is the one. 1 second. Click on it. So what was that ID? That's security group ID. Okay, this is the name actually. Launch Wizard 12. So we have not attached the default one. We have attached a different one. Look at the name is Launch Wizard 12. That's the one which is attached. So why that is attached? Well, let me explain. Back to the instance. Why not the default one? So quickly launch instance. Select. And in security groups, so which one we have selected? So new security group. So since we have selected create a new security group, it has created a new security group. But if you want to use the existing ones, you can select the existing one. But we don't do it right now. So that is what is security group. And what was the name? It was Launch Wizard 12. Well, so that is the one. And now let's try to modify the inbound rules. Edit inbound rules. Okay. And what is the rule we have selected? SSH, right? Okay, let it be as it is. I like to change the source. So what is the source? Custom, sorry. By default it was anywhere. And now I want to change it to my IP. So remove the other one. So then it is my IP. But, so save it. Now from my IP, can I do SSH to the instance? Yes?
Yes, only you can.
Yeah. So why? Because I'm logging in to that EC2 instance from my
IP address.
IP address. So what is my IP address is? So that's my IP address, right? The same IP is popped up in the inbound rules. But so try that. Anyway, it's you just log into it, nothing else. And IP, we need IP. Details and IP address. Appearance. Okay, all these things are not required, but still, you just do it. SSH. SSH. No. This is the one. Yeah. Yes. Now, let's go with. Now I can do SSH. But if you want to SSH, can you do it? No. Okay. So let me try that scenario now. So I want to check that whether that security group works successfully for me. Okay. Now back to yesterday's instance. So what was yesterday's instance? That was RHEL 8 instance one, right? Start the instance. So why I'm starting that instance? From that RHEL instance, I wanted to do SSH onto that Ubuntu instance. Is it clear? So our yesterday's instance, so that was RHEL instance 1. Okay, RHEL instance 1. And from there, let's do SSH to our which instance? Ubuntu instance. Can I do it?
Yes.
Can I do it? This is the IP address of the RHEL instance. And let's get the IP address of the other instance. No, it should be other way, right? Sorry, it has to be other way. 1 second. No, that's correct. I'm sorry. That was correct. Well, sorry. For inbound rule, we change the inbound rule for RHEL. Just a second.
ID configuration.
Yeah, we'll try that. That's all. So this is IP. Well, now for this in Ubuntu, so what was the inbound rule we have set up? What was the inbound rule? SSH. Okay. And then source
Only
my IP. So what was my IP?
your physical system.
So that's my IP. That's my IP. Now tell me, can I do SSH now onto this Ubuntu from this RHEL instance 1?
You can't.
No, right? Everyone agrees? Agree that? Yes or no? Only one or two says yes, and how do the rest of you?
No, you can't.
Yes or no?
Sir, RHEL also we have set up security defense.
For RHEL, you don't need inbound. What you need?
Then outbound from it because you're trying to connect from RHEL to Ubuntu. So it's a connection going out of the server.
So now for RHEL, you must have outbound rules set up. So why? So from RHEL, we are sending a request out to the other instance. So in RHEL instance, you must have outbound rules set up. Right? Set up the outbound rule. What type of rule? SSH rule still, right? Set up that. And then will I be able to do SSH now? Yes or no?
No, sir.
No? Why?
Because only your physical IP it will accept.
Yes. Because see, look at here. So on the Ubuntu, what is the inbound rule? My IP. That's my IP, right? But what type of request is coming in as an inbound rule for the Ubuntu? It was SSH. That's fine. But from other IP address, apart from this IP address. Are we clear? So let's try that now. So if you understand the scenario, you'll be able to understand what I'm going to do. So is that clear? Let's check it out. So the only thing is I want to cross check it whether my rules are working successfully. So that is what I want to check it. Right. So firstly, I'm going to do SSH login for instance 1. And from there, I'm going to log into I'm going to do SSH from instance RHEL to Ubuntu. Okay. So how do you do SSH from RHEL to Ubuntu? SSH. Yes, SSH, username, IP address. Okay, but we'll try that. So this is my Ubuntu, isn't it? Okay, this is Ubuntu. 1 second. So let me change these settings actually. I think that is visible. Okay. Now, if you see your instance as in with black background color, or you can see that as an Ubuntu. That is your Ubuntu instance. And we need another instance, right? So new session. And what is that one? RHEL. Okay, that is RHEL IP address. So appearance. And colors. SSH. Username. Did anyone try with this root user? Login with root? Yes. Did it work? Okay. So this is our EC2, sorry, our RHEL instance. The white screen is your RHEL instance, and the black screen is our Ubuntu instance. Okay, but you can see that Ubuntu. Now, so let's do SSH. What is the command? SSH. Tell me the username. Ubuntu. IP address of Ubuntu. Yes. Okay, let's get the IP address of Ubuntu. Is it possible now? Is it possible? No? Enter. So that's it. It gets stuck at that point. It won't be logging into that Ubuntu instance. Why? The Ubuntu instance is not allowing that as an inbound request. Now, back to the inbound rules of Ubuntu. So that's Ubuntu, and then there is a security group. Under security, and then so that's our security group, or you can find the inbound rules. So from here, see that inbound rules. Anyway, change the security group, click on the security group, and then edit inbound rules. Sorry, that was outbound. Sorry. Inbound rules and edit inbound rules. So I'm going to change that source, let's say anywhere. Okay, right, save it. Now you can see that inbound rule is SSH, and that's from anywhere. Fine, no issues. Just cancel it again. SSH. Now, so it is accepting some request. Fine. Let's yes. But what is that? Now this time issue is different.
Every time public key is changed.
Public keys don't get changed. We are not changing the public keys.
IP addresses will change every time.
Why keys change every time?
That is dynamical overhead.
IPs get changed only if you restart instances. If you change the status, is the status is changed? Yeah. Tell me the issue. You just read it out. You understand it. Because we all know SSH concepts. We know it very well. And
We have not copied public key
we have not copied
public key
public key
to the
to
other instance.
that instance. Yes. See, you have the answer on the screen. Permission denied. Why permission denied? See, you just have entered the username and IP address. And what is my inbound rules? I've set up as an anywhere, right? Inbound is anywhere. Now, for example, so you are very smart and you know SSH command, you know the username, you know IP address. Can you do SSH onto my instance? We need something else apart from the username, IP address. What else we need?
Key.
We need a key, right? Where is that key? So now, same command, but I use, we talk about public key in few, we'll come back to that point, but now let's go with I. What is I stands for? Identity file. That means your key file name. So what is our key? RHEL something, and RHEL instance 1, RHEL 8, whatever. And then what is that? Instance 1 dot. See, when you do SSH, what else we need? We need username, IP address, as well as PEM file. That is what is the command. See, I have done SSH, right? How did I do that? Through SSH into the, so this is our, let's go with new session, right? Now I was doing SSH through PuTTY. See, this is nothing but SSH or not? So what else we need first? First is what is required in the first case? IP address, then SSH key, and then after that you need username. So we need three things, okay? But in this command, so of course we are doing SSH, but this is a command. So you need PEM file, username, IP address. So what PEM file of what? PEM file of your target instance, wherever you are doing SSH. Clear? Hopefully it's not. Okay, fine. It's not. That's only projector is gone. So the command is clear. But where is the private key of your Ubuntu instance? So do I need private key or not? Right. But that private key I'm going to maintain on my RHEL instance. Then I mention the name of the path of the key. So is the concept clear? Now let's copy that SSH key of Ubuntu instance onto my RHEL. Why? So that I can use that key as an key for the Ubuntu instance. But do I have that key with me on my RHEL instance? Let's copy that RHEL, let's copy that key onto my RHEL instance so that I can mention the key in the path. Well, so now we're going to log into this RHEL instance and copy that key to this RHEL instance. But how I'm going to log in? We are copying files, right? Can I say remote copy or not? How do you do remote copy? See, these are the basics. What is that? WinSCP. Did anyone install WinSCP so far? You know the purpose, right? Yes. So now we are copying files of that PEM file. We are copying the PEM file which is on my Windows, copying to our remote instance which is on Linux. But now log into our RHEL and that's key. And then what's the username? EC2 user. Password? Key. Okay. So how do you get the key? Advanced. And then SSH authentication. Do we select PPK or PEM file? PEM file. Why not PPK? Yeah, that is not PuTTY, right? So that's a PEM file. Use that. Is it PPK? I think so. 1 second. Oh, sorry. I selected PPK. I'm sorry. That's PEM file. Why replace? Why are we saving it? 1 second. It supports only PuTTY. Is it? 1 second. That's not supposed to be. Okay, let's see. Even I doubt. No, 1 second. That's. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. It's PPK. Sorry. Okay, even this access PPK. But now we are logging into our RHEL instance, right? Well, copy the file. Where is our file? That's in downloads. So what file we copy? You file PPK or PEM file? PPK. So this is the command, right? So what is the command? SSH and then -I. So this is not a PuTTY, right? Even though it's PuTTY, but what is the command is? Command is your SSH command. So we use PEM file. This is not a PPK file. It does not mean that we are in PuTTY, and does not mean that we use PPKs. But what is that command we are running? This is Linux command. SSH is Linux command. So it accepts only PEM file, not PPK. Okay. So copy that PEM file. Where is that PEM file? RHEL. So that's a PEM file. Now copy that. Just a second. Just copy. I can't copy. Right? What? What is that?
Permission denied.
Why permission denied? Okay, let me again get back. So what is the username I have logged in as? EC2 user, right? Now what is my path? Good. Now tell me why the permission was denied. EC2? Someone said something. EC2 user? Now tell me where do I copy the file to?
Must copy to EC2 user personal directory.
EC2 user home directory, personal directory. So why? Because your username itself is EC2 user. How you are able to copy the files to some other directories, right? Now, that is the concept of user directories. See, that is what I said. Every concept we have used in Linux, somehow we'll be using them in the future. So each and every topic, each and every concept. Now, EC2 user, and then copy the file. File is copied. Well, now back to our RHL instance. Okay. Now, -I, then what? Okay, but firstly, where is the key? We have the key now. Okay. Now, what is the command? SSH -I, and then file, then EC2 user, Ubuntu, and then IP address. Okay, that's IP address. So we are in Ubuntu. Okay, so this is the IP address of the Ubuntu instance. Now you can switch to super user now. Yes, I'm a super user. Was it clear? No? If that is not clear, understand the logic first, what we are doing. Then you can think about the commands. So it's a very simple this is nothing but SSH. We all know SSH commands. So, but here I'm doing SSH from RHL instance. This is my instance 1. There is our instance 2. Okay. Well, so what did I do first? From PuTTY, I have logged into my RHL instance. Where is my RHL instance? This is our RHL instance. Okay. Now, this is our RHL instance. And from there, I want to do SSH to my Ubuntu. That's the scenario. Well, so if you want to do SSH onto this instance, first of all, your target instance has to allow you to do inbound rules. That is the reason initially I've set up my inbound rule, but I have changed the inbound rule to anywhere, right? So initially it was my IP address. Later I have changed it to my IP. Sorry, anywhere. It is my IP initially. Then I change it to anywhere. Then I have done SSH from RHL to Ubuntu. So what was the command then? From RHL instance, the command was SSH-I and then your PEM file name. And then username, default user, and plus IP address. But if you want to do this, we need to have an IP, we need to have a PEM file of Ubuntu. That's the reason I have copied that PEM file of Ubuntu onto the RHL instance so that I can use that PEM file. Okay. Then SSH. Well, again, try that. 78 was it? 78. We are logged successfully. But what is the user we are logging in? What's the user? Ubuntu, right? But I don't want to do Ubuntu login. I want to do SSH as an root user. How?
In the command, we will change the username and we will copy the PEM file to the root user directory.
Okay, fine. It's already there. Now change the root username from Ubuntu to root. Can I do it? What is that? Ubuntu rules. Ubuntu login as an Ubuntu. Why Ubuntu? Why Ubuntu? Why not root? Say, are we doing SSH or not? So if you do SSH onto Ubuntu AMIs, what is the default username? Ubuntu, right? Then why you're logging as root? It's not possible. But I want to log in as a root user. Can someone tell me? Again, SSH concepts. How? What is that command? SSH keygen. Right? Is it going to generate a key? Well, generate. So we know that default path, enter, enter. So where is it? In root, okay, and then dot SSH. Well, so we have keys generated. Tell me the next step. Copy the key. What is the command? What was that? SSH hyphen copy and then user IP address. Can I do this? Can I do this? Yes. If that is so, where is the security? So even you can run that command, right, from your instance. So you have another EC2 instance. Okay. Say that Ubuntu is my instance. Your RHEL instance is your instance, and you're going to run that command. That means, can you do SSH key copy to my instance? So that command does not work. If that is so, anyone can copy keys from their instances to my instance, then you can log into my instance. Is it clear? So that's why we open the key first. What key? The public key. And then we copy the key manually. Okay? So copy the key. Copy. Then what is the next step? Paste it to. Where do you copy to? Ubuntu. Yeah, I'm on Ubuntu. Now tell me next. Where do I copy? Somewhere here?
Authorized keys.
Authorized keys. Now, where is authorized keys? etc. Sorry, root. And then .ssh. You have authorized keys. Open the file. Then you copy the key. Now the key is copied. Is it copied? 1 second. Just a second. Let's copy that again. Sorry. Copy. Okay. Now this is copied. 1 second. Why this is? Enter. Yeah, that is copied anyway. Yeah, I can see that. That's IP address. Yeah. But now save it. Back to our instance. Let's do SSH. Now we are logging in as a root user with IP address. Is the key not copied or what? Okay, was it not copied correctly? Let's try that again. Okay, I think, oh, well, 1 second, let me go with generate the key again, SSH hyphen key. I want to regenerate a key. Okay. So VI. Yeah, let's copy that because it wasn't copied correctly.
We are generating keys in Ubuntu now.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. So do that again. SSH. Sorry, I have generated key on Ubuntu. So let's back to the RHL. Now enter. Override. Yes, override. Enter. So go with VI and then ID score say dot pub. Copy that correctly. That is what we are missing actually. Copy. So back to the instance. VI authorized underscore keys. Just insert. Now that is copied. I just copied it. Some letters was missing, nothing else. Now back to RHL. Enter. So we are in Ubuntu, right? So we are in. That's it. What is the IP? This is a private IP. That's not public IP. Once you log into the instances and you see the private IP, you can cross verify the private IP of the instance. Ubuntu instance. Just details. So that's IP 41, 48, 41, 48. Now exit. You can exit. Okay. So this is how your security groups works, and this is how you do SSH to the instances. Are the concepts clear? So we have not discussed anything which is not familiar to us. Everything was familiar. We know security groups and we know SSH concepts. We know all these things. But the only thing is, so you should know how to apply them. That's all. Yeah. So is it clear? Confusions? Okay, if that is confused, then you need to do some hands-on with this first. Otherwise, things will be still confused. Okay. Understand. So don't worry about the commands. Understand the concept first. Once you understand the concept, commands you can run it because you know the commands well. So now you can try another thing from your side. Now back to our RHL instance, right? So this time, I don't want to allow to do SSH from this RHL instance to any other instances. I don't want to allow my users to do SSH from this instance to any other instance. So far we have been running some SSH commands, right? So if the users run SSH command on this instance, and I don't want to allow that.
We'll change the bound rules.
Change the outbound rules. Okay. So that's instance, and then security. Okay. And then security group. And then outbound rules. What are you going to change? So what is the type of rule is? Look at that type. All traffic, right?
Change it to SSH.
Okay, change to SSH. Okay, then
Only
You can paste the
only my. Is it correct?
my IP. We'll take it custom and paste the IP address there.
Sorry.
Take the custom.
IP custom.
and paste the IP address of our instance there.
That's not possible. Go with custom. So custom means it's not the IP address. Custom means you have something else. But custom is the correct answer, but there's a different way to mention the IPs. Okay. So that is partially correct. Okay, that's partially correct. But the requirement was, I want to deny it. Understand the question? I want to deny SSH rules. But all these rules, what type of rules? You are giving some access, right? So when you select a rule here, what does it mean? You are giving an access through SSH. But I want to deny the SSH. I don't want to allow any SSH. Can you deny? No, that's not possible to deny. But I want to set up some deny rules. You set up the deny rules. So see, these are all security groups, right? When you change the security groups at inbound or outbound, and where they're getting applied on instance, correct? Yes. So usually, where the instances are created under some networks. We don't know the networks, but I'm saying, just giving an idea. So this is a network, and within the network, we create instances. Now we are setting up security groups, right? Security groups are for the purpose of instance level or not? Yes. But I want to deny the rules, or I want to set up some type of rules. If anyone is trying to do, so any users, they're trying to do SSH, then so that rule will be denied by this network. So here we talk about the network. The network itself don't accept the any SSH rules. So or else you can say the network is going to deny the rules. Or if you want to log into instances, you need two types of rules over here. First, your network has to allow you, and from there, instance has to allow you. So you have the network. First of all, network has to give you access. Yes, you can do SSH. So once your network allows you, then you can do SSH onto the instances. Yes. So we have different concepts over here. But how do you provide the deny rules? Deny rules we provide at network level. So we'll talk about that in the networks. But if you have that question, that's the answer. So in security groups, you don't set up any deny rules. That's not possible. You can only set up only allow rules, not deny rules. But so these are the points you must understand from the security groups. Why inbound rules? Why outbound rules? Or can I set up deny rules on inbound or outbound rules? No, that's not possible. Deny rules can be set up at network level, not at instance level. Yeah. So, yeah. Any questions? Yeah.
Yesterday's class, how the region provides us fault tolerance.
How the
Region provides us fault tolerance.
so fault tolerance?
They'll maintain the replicas in every availability zone within the region.
Yes.
But for that Amazon, we need to pay for the different zones. Will we
So-
pay for only one?
No, you don't need to pay for anything for Amazon. So you have availability zones, right? So you have multiple availability zones within the same region. So you have all these zones. We have 3 zones in Mumbai region. So you don't need to pay anything for the Amazon. Okay. So automatically they'll take care of that high availability concept. But if you want to enable more additional zones, you see that enable, I want to add additional zones. I don't trust these 3. I want to have more availability zones. You can enable it, but there it is chargeable. Okay, but by default they provide some set of availability zones. For that is not chargeable. Okay. Now we have not seen that Windows, right? Okay. So you can try the Windows. Just try that Windows. Okay. Select the AMI as your Windows AMI. You can take anything. Okay. And finally, okay, one thing is changed. So you just try it. If you don't get it, so let me know. I'll take that concept in next session. So everything AMI is, yeah, we select Windows AMI. And that is the first difference. And second difference is security group. What was that? Which one? RDP. Correct. RDP. So what is RDP? Remote desktop protocol. This is like SSH in Linux. So what is the rule we have set up for Linux? SSH, right? But in Windows, this is RDP. Okay, launch it and then so do SSH. How to do remote login? You need, what is that? Remote desktop connection. In the remote desktop connection, you enter the IP address of your Windows instance. Okay, try that. Let me know. So if you can't get it, so that's okay. That's not a problem. I'll take that part in our next section. Okay. Yeah. Any questions? And so regarding the scenarios, now you can try these scenarios. We upload this document in the drive. One second. This folder was already shared yesterday. You can access it. It is not there in the drive, so let me upload it. Now you can access that document, scenarios document. So you can try this. Yesterday you might have tried it, and if you want, you can try that Windows. And other thing is, now change the security groups to anywhere, and also you change it to my IPs for the above instances, for these instances, inbound roles. And then try these logins, SSH login, above instances through PuTTY first, and then SSH login from RHEL instance to Ubuntu instance. But both are your EC2 instances. Okay, so this is what we have tried so far. Right. And then SSH login. One second. So take in virtual instance. Let's take a virtual instance. And from this virtual instance, you do SSH onto your EC2 instance. Okay. Anything change in the command? Okay, you try it, let me know. But there is no change in the command. What was the command? SSH, then -i, PEM file, user, IP address, all same. There's no change. Now, for the scenario 4 and 5, login with root user. Okay, for these two scenarios, login with root users, and you can try that Elastic IPs and check that. So if you restart your instance, whether Elastic IP is changing. Okay, so we have tried all of them except one thing. That is one, but it is also same thing. Okay, don't think it is a virtual instance or EC2 instance. Only think about what is the platform you are working with. Are you working with Windows or Linux? So then what is the command? The command is save. And if you want to try that third scenario in the first, so you can try that. If you can't get it, then I'll take that in the next session. Okay. Well, so any questions? So was it confusing? Yeah. So that is, so if you that is confused, and you just do some hands-on with SSH commands first. So then there won't be any confusions. Okay. Well, thank you. I'll see you back tomorrow. Thank you.